Jayna Hefford, welcome to the party!
So important to get the right people on the bus, okay?
We're bringing in new fans to the game, new fans to women's sport. First place team gets to pick who they play in the first round.
Whoa! We take great pleasure in bringing a Canadian into the circle and having to do the USA cheer at the end.
I'm going to hear about this from someone.
Attention. The party is about to commence.
Welcome to the party.
What's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Abby Wambach.
And I'm Billie Jean King.
Kinger!
I don't like my hair today. Wait a minute.
Kinger's with us today. We're so happy you're here. These are my favorite days to record.
Look at the
so much
swag
fun.
too. Look at
your
that
swag.
Jacket. I know. I love my
I love
sweatshirt.
this.
This is one of the most comfortable sweatshirts. Wait, show off your jacket though, because that's next level PWHL.
Look at this. You better be on. Sorry.
So those are the original 6
Wait a minute.
teams. Yep.
Yeah.
3
There it
there,
is.
3 there.
And then now we have 2 new ones.
Yeah.
Vancouver and Seattle.
Yeah.
Neat. Now we're
That's
up to
cool.
8.
That's really cool. That is so cool. I want that jacket.
Don't
I
you
want
love
that
this?
jacket.
Okay, I'll see what I can do if there's any left. I don't know.
Hey, Kinger, we also did a look-alike contest for you at the Watch Me Women's Sports Bar in Long Beach. Since it is your hometown, your birthday's coming up, so we just thought we'd do a little look-alike. It was so fun. We're going to drop some photos in here to show.
Watch Me Sports with Jax.
Also, as we know, coming up, we're going to chat with Canadian hockey superstar. And when I'm saying superstar, we're talking 4-time Olympic gold medalist, stratosphere superstar, and pro women's hockey league executive Jana Hefford. And if you're a women's sports fan, you don't want to miss this because Jana shares what it takes to build a women's sports league from literally the ground up. And she's taking us inside that climb and how we're going to discuss how BJK helped give them a leg up. But before we get to that, we're going to let BJK go change the world in probably about 7 different ways before lunch, of course. And we'll be right back with the Kinger and Jayna Hefford. Okay, party people, now on to the highlights and headlines you'll want to celebrate this week in women's sports. Our party starter is brought to you by Ally, the bank that's your ally. Abs, you know where I'm going to start.
Let's go.
The party starter. NWSL playoffs. So on Saturday, we're in the semifinals, party people. On Saturday, Washington Spirit beat Portland 2-0 to head back to the NWSL final. They'll take on Gotham next week in San Jose. Abby and I will be bringing the party there too, but more on that later. And the Spirit's win had an extra jolt of emotion thanks to the long-awaited return of Trinity Rodman. She had been out for a month with a knee injury, and she was an unused substitute in last week's quarterfinal. But Rodman in the semifinal came off the bench in the 90th minute to a thunderous ovation from the sellout crowd of 19,365 at Audi Field. Awesome. Rowdy Audi. And here's the twist, though. Could this moment have been a goodbye for Trinity Rodman? I don't want to create some panic within the NWSL community, but Rodman's contract is up next month, and the offers are coming in, party people. We know that. And they're coming in from Europe, which we know doesn't have a salary cap, so they're large. And it's the kind of money I fear that NWSL teams just can't match because of the league salary cap. So she's been open as well about wanting to play abroad at some point. But those conversations, I'm sure, are very real right now. So as incredible as it was to see her back on the field, I think it also underscored the very real possibility that this could be her final home appearance for the Spirit.
Don't go. Don't go.
Podcast tip, listen to our Haley Carter episode to stave off any panic if you want to hear about salary caps and how maybe the NWSL can fight this non-salary cap issue on the global market. Okay. In the other semifinal, Gotham took down Orlando Pride 1-0 with a Jaden Shaw goal in the 7th minute of stoppage time. Another late winner for Gotham following their 120th minute goal from Katie Stengel against Kansas City Current the week before to knock off the number 1 team. And it's worth reminding people, Gotham was the 8th seed, party people, the last seed in this playoffs. And as Jaden Shaw said last game, in the quarterfinal, and is clearly proving, underdogs my ass.
So good.
So it's Washington Spirit versus Gotham on Saturday with an NWSL title on the line.
Jules, you know what else is happening at the NWSL Championship weekend?
What?
Welcome to the Party is happening.
We're happening. We're happening.
The NWSL Championship weekend. Yep. We are packing all of our mics up because Welcome to the Party is going live at the Ally House in San Jose. Y'all, you've heard us talk about it already, but you know we'll be there this weekend hosting a live recording of Welcome to the Party, surrounded by the best fans in the game, and our friends at Ally are building the Ally House to celebrate women's soccer, our community, the energy, the progress, right? And we can't wait to share that space with you all. So join us this Friday, November 21st, as we kick off the weekend the only way we know how, by throwing
With a
party. Okay? It's going to be the ultimate pregame celebration of women's sports. You'll get access to live podcast taping, meet and greets, and NWSL players, exclusive access to special merch collaboration with Domo Wells.
Cool.
And so much more. Also, our guest, Jules. Is it so
One of our
exciting?
guests. Yeah.
One of our guests. It's so exciting. Our bestie, Andrea Brimmer. We are very
Badass.
excited. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to come.
CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Ally, who's a total disruptor.
Total disruptor, badass.
Love it.
Is
In the
just
best
like
of ways.
all in on women's sports.
Yeah.
And as the party people know, Ally is a big sponsor of ours, and Andrea is a big reason for that. So
women's
we're
sports,
so
yeah.
excited to talk to her about all of that. And for those who want to come and attend, make sure that you RSVP at the link in our description. Just if you want to come and see Welcome to the Party live, which I know you do, and you want to enjoy everything at Ally House, let's kick off championship weekend together. Ally, do it right.
Right on. Okay. We'd also like to welcome U.S. Women's National Team icons Tobin Heath and Heather O'Reilly to the Hall of Fame party. They headline the National Soccer Hall of Fame's class of 2026. Both, no surprise here, were selected as first ballot inductees. Tobin and Heo retired as World Cup champions, Olympic medalists, winning 2 Olympic golds and 1 World Cup together. The class of 2026 induction ceremony will take place May 1st at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. I texted the two of them, and I'm like, I'm so happy that you guys get to go in together.
I know.
That, I got to go in with Mia, which was so fun. But like having a teammate, a dear friend by your side, you get to go in. It's so cool. So congrats to both of them.
I texted both of them to Jules on the same thread, congratulating them. And it was so sweet because Heo, she wrote back this beautiful long thing in Tobin, in perfect Tobin fashion. She just
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same.
I'm like, Tobin, I love you so much. All right. So also, party people, super cool news. The Women's Pro Baseball League draft is officially about to happen on November 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And it can be watched live on the WPBL's Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channels. This is the first Women's Pro Baseball League in 80 years. Doesn't this make you feel like a league of their own? You know, Jules? Like, I want to start singing. What is that song? Da-da-da-da. The All-American team goes for cities far and wide. Okay, the season starts in 2026 with 4 teams. The Boston team, the San Francisco team, Los Angeles, and New York. Players will come. I know, so great. From a global pool with participants in recent tryouts representing over 10 countries, folks. The league has already registered over 700 players from the United States, Canada, Japan, and the United Kingdom. And a draft will select the initial players from those who attend the summer tryouts. And finally, also worth noting, Jules, we had Danny Busboom Kelly join our party last week. Okay. Nebraska volleyball's head coach. This team, they're undefeated this season. And we were pumping. Amazing. Exactly. We were pumping up the fact that they had not lost a set in the Big Ten.
Yeah. We really pumped it up too. Which
did.
is amazing. We were like, oh my, you haven't even lost a set.
I know. Well, just a few days after that, folks, Nebraska's incredible 48-set winning streak fell in its Friday night game against UCLA, where UCLA took one set off of Nebraska. I think that we jinxed them, Jules, and we're going to take the blame here. It's going to be us.
I feel terrible.
Let's just take the blame.
Sorry, Nebraska Husker fans. That's on us.
It is.
We're taking it.
But the Huskers were not fazed. 2 days later, they beat USC from start to finish, beating them in 3 straight sets. So they're still undefeated, Jules, but the 48 set winning streak is no longer. Yeah. That is your party starter. And thanks to Ally for sponsoring this segment. And as we know, Ally is more than a bank, and their do it right approach helps customers unlock their economic potential and guides their efforts as a leading sponsor in women's sports. Just like us, Ally believes that when women in sports win, we all have a reason to party.
Party!
Ally Bank, member FDIC.
Abigail.
What's that?
As you know, finding time to work out in the busiest time of the year as the holidays get around is really hard. But I have the breakthrough of the busiest time of the year. What? Do you know what it is?
I have an idea, but what are you going to say?
Brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus. Yo! Powered by Peloton IQ.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can we just talk about how obsessed we are with this? And yes, we did a whole podcast on one. Well, almost the whole podcast on one. And then I proceeded to lose to Abby in the minute to win it race. But I've been training on my Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus so that the next time I'm not losing it. And I love this for so many reasons. You can get off. Well, you can run on it, of course, right? You can take classes. And then when you're doing the classes, you can do like cross-training stuff because I'm not just a runner. I want to do other things. I want to get off it. I want to do body strength stuff. I want to do boot camp stuff. I want to do some plyometrics. So you swivel your screen and then it tracks you in the box to like, it'll actually say to you, you need to get your butt lower, people.
I know.
Get your butt down. You're not squatting low enough.
It's a little judgy. It's a little judgy for a retired pro athlete, if I'm not going to lie.
But it so helps you because all of a sudden I'm like, you're right. Okay. Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus. I'm going to get my butt down a little further.
The weather is starting to change too. And so once it starts to get a little bit colder outside, I feel like I want to be indoors more. And this is like the perfect machine to do everything that you need. Honestly, if you want to walk, you can walk. If you want to do sprints, you can do sprints. If you want to lift weights, if you want to do yoga, if you want to meditate, it has everything.
Yeah. And you know what? When I'm like doing the stuff where you're having to count, I don't know if you have this problem, but I can't keep track of stuff. So, because I like to talk with my friends. And so I'm talking, never tracking. And it tracks for me, which is brilliant because I don't have to worry. I'm like, oh, I've done my 15 push-ups. Thank you very much. I've gotten my bum down. So I'm just telling you, party people, let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. You can do it all. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Jules, okay, you know that feeling when you find something so fundamentally amazing, you immediately text 5 of your best friends about it?
Yeah.
That is exactly what happened when I put on Vuori's Dream Knit Performance joggers.
I know.
I also am donning this sweatshirt that I was just
going to pull mine. It's on the bed right behind me. I was just going to pull it over. I travel in it all
My
the
children
time.
are like, I love that. Where's that from? And I'm like, it's Vuori and it's mine. Hands off. Do not touch
No,
my
literally,
Vuori stuff.
I was wearing my Vuori big hoodie sweatshirt. I'm gonna pull it for you a second. Hold on, stay.
Oh my God.
Stay there, party people. This is worth it. I was wearing my big hooded sweatshirt. I can't put it on because I have my headphones in. But everyone was like, "What is that?" And I was like,
It's
"Not
so good.
yours. It's mine. It's
It's so
Vuori."
good.
And they're like, "Of course, it's Vuori."
All
So
of
good.
Vuori clothes are just unbelievably soft. Like, I can't even believe that these sweatshirts and these performance joggers are as soft as they are. And by the way, I've had some of these for 4 years. Still soft, folks. And also, they still look like I'm put together enough that I can
Yeah.
even go outside and run errands or hop on a Zoom or head
Yeah.
to a workout without ever changing. I literally live in these performance joggers. Vuori
Same.
gets it. And we really want clothes that feel good and move with us and also still look great, because I just want to wear the same thing all day. I don't want to have to like change in and out of stuff. And I'm working out and I'm recording podcasts and I'm going for a walk and I'm doing things. I get to wear the Dream Knit fabric all day long because it's lightweight, it's breathable, it's seriously the smoothest material that I've ever worn.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not even kidding. The versatility is next level. I've worn them to coach, to travel, to lounge, to dinners. It's just like, I love Vuori so much. They just work. Vuori is an investment in your happiness, okay? For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase.
get it.
Get
Get it.
yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/welcome to the party. That's VUORI.com/welcome to the party. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/welcome to the party and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
This is what I look like on the plane, FYI. Okay, party people, now to the partiest part of our party. Jayna Hefford has literally done everything in the sport of hockey. 5 Olympics. The first one silver in 1998, and then all the rest gold. 4 of them gold, and I'm sure most of them, if not all of them, against the United States of America in terms of winning that gold. A spot in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and now she's a force of nature leading the way in a new era of women's hockey. Jayna helped lay the groundwork for the new Women's Professional Hockey League, the PWHL. She is the current executive vice president of hockey operations, along with our very own Billie Jean King and her wife, Alana Klaas, who helped with the PWHL. And looked what's happened since. Record-breaking crowds, sold-out Takeover tour stops, a tidal wave of new fans, and expansion teams lighting up the West Coast. Jayna is a legend, a builder. We'll forgive her for being a USA soul crusher. And one of the biggest reasons women's hockey is having itself a moment. Jayna Hefford, welcome to the party!
Jayna Hefford.
Wow. Thank you. That's an amazing intro, and a huge fan of all of you guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, how many of those initial Olympics, all of those
All
Olympics
of
were
them.
were they against United States
I'm
teams,
sure.
right?
In 2006, we actually played Sweden in the gold medal game.
Okay.
But the other 4 were against the Americans. They were, you guys would appreciate this, our biggest rivals, but our favorite team to play against.
Could you tell us, sometimes it's confusing, but could you just tell us a little bit about the history before the PWHL, like the other leagues? I think you played in all of them.
Well, I played in a lot of them. I think I played in 4 different leagues while I was playing, and we called them professional because they were the best players, but they were far from professional as it related to, no salaries, no resources, poor ice times, maybe a couple practices a week, volunteer coaches. So it really was a glorified sort of minor league system, but it was the best players in the world. So we, wanting to prop this up and build it up and tell people how great it was, but it just didn't have anything behind it. So, I played in a league called the Central Ontario Women's Hockey League, the original National Women's Hockey League, then the Canadian Women's Hockey League. There was also a second version of the NWHL. There was the professional, the PHF League. So it's the PWHPA was a big part of that. So it's a very clustered past, but it was all part of the journey to get here, and I think a necessary part of the history. And I know, Billie, we talk all the time, the importance of history and understanding where we came from and where we had to get to. And so I don't think any of them were mistakes or failures even. It was really just a part of getting us to where we are today. And, I'm proud to have been a part of that as well as a player. But now we've gotten to this point where, we can really elevate the women and the players and the sport.
Yeah, and as Kinger always mentions, like the importance of understanding that history, because I think people see this current league and they think, oh, this is amazing, and right, it just like happened like that. But actually, no, it was a slog, right? It was a slog, as you just laid out a lot of acronyms that I'm not completely all familiar with all those acronyms, but like going back to years and years of trying to get to where you are today, which is really cool to see. But take us back to the moment that Billie Jean King was involved with women's hockey, and it can be either or both of you in terms of King or when you got involved.
What happened, if you really want to know the story as far as Ilana and me, is that Kendall Coyne had talked to Angela Ruggiero about. She was so frustrated, and she was speaking for everyone when she spoke. And Kendall said, "I don't know what to do." And
Angela Ruggiero, just for context,
yeah, it was great. Okay, she was a superstar in the '98. That's where I knew about her. She was, and I'd met her through the Women's Sports Foundation, and all that. And so Angela said, "Well, you should call Ilana and Billie Jean. Are you kidding?" And so we're at a Lakers game, and we get this call from Kendall. So Ilana steps out to talk to her in the hall, and she's, help, can you help us? So we met in New York, and I'll never forget that moment. I know exactly where Kendall was standing. She was at our apartment, and she said, "Would you help us? We have to have a proper professional league." And of course, Ilana and I know zippity-doo-dah about ice hockey, but we thought we would try to help. And this is what happens to us a lot. And it took years and years and years, but we spent a lot of time talking to Mark Walter about, and he owns the Dodgers. He now owns the Lakers. He owns a lot. He's involved in a lot of different things. But my job was to help the top players stick together. Lana would call me and say, "I need you to pep talk." So
bring in the Billie Jean King pep talk.
No, but
That's right.
It was in Chicago when we're at that dream situation, dream tour, that we promised we'd get them good hotels, which we did. They were at a nice hotel. They couldn't believe it. Then we had really good food for them. Just basic things that Jayna discussed before that they didn't have. So they loved that. But then the magic question was, I said to them, can the top players, every one of the top players, can you stick together through thick and thin? And we'll try to help you get this league. And they said yes. They stepped up right away. They were amazing. And Jayna was amazingly helpful throughout this process. But they said they would do it. So they talked about being an association. So they got on the same page, but what was really, really hard is, where are we going to find the money? Because we have the dream, but we don't have the resources. You can't have the dream, and that's what happened. So Jayna, the reason she's so visible, too, is that we asked the players, well, who should be ahead of the association? And Kendall, without even taking a beat, said, "Oh, that's easy, Jana Hefford." Oh, okay. And so everybody went to Jayna, and she became ahead of the association, but then they became employees because Mark said, no, they cannot be individual contract people. I got to have them together. They got to be employees. So within about a month they were, and then we went to Jayna, and she headed it up. She's still doing everything now. She's an amazing person on and off the ice. And one of the biggest privileges I ever had was dropping the puck with her at the very, very first inaugural game, and I'll never forget that. So that for me, that's just a personal thing, and Jayna, of course, should be there. She was so instrumental in making all this happen.
And Jayna, I just want to ask, like, what was it like when you got the phone call from either Kendall or Billie Jean or Alana that was like, you're getting the call up? Like, what must that feel like?
Yeah, I think, more Billie made it seem pretty easy, but I had been leading the interim commissioner of the Canadian Women's Hockey League. That league shut down, decided it could no longer function. The business structure wasn't right. There was no money. That was one of the hardest things I had to do at that time, was tell the players, who many of them were my teammates, ex-teammates, friends, that this league was done. It was over. There was nowhere for them to play. So we had to go through that process of shutting down a league, which for me personally was a crash course in business that I couldn't have paid to get. So looking back on it, when it happened, I truly believed that there was something better that was going to come. But, you say that to people and it doesn't help the hurt that happened to the players. So that happened in March. The league shut down, and I got a call in August from Alana and Kendall. And I had played against Kendall, but, had met her once or twice, didn't know her that well. And they called me out of the blue and asked if I would do this. And my first thought was, I don't know if I want to do this again. Like, I just went through this process and this hurtful thing that happened to the game. But the first thing I said is this what the players want? Do they want me to do it? Because that's the only reason I ever got involved anyways, was because I wanted to make it better for the players after I retired. And when Kendall said, yes, the players want you to do it, then that was it. I was like, okay, I'll do it then. So we spent 4.5 years with the PWHPA. We started with no money, no equipment, no ice time. We had Billie and Alana as our leaders. And that was about it. We had a friend of yours, John Langle, Ballard Spar, who offered to help out. But that's all we had. We had to figure it all out from there. And over the course of the 4 years, we got to a point where we had a tour that was sponsored. We had broadcast opportunities. The players had some prize money. So there were some successes along the way, and certainly progress, but it was hard. One of the things people ask me all the time, like your favorite lesson or, something that someone told you, and it always comes back to Billie. And I don't know if you remember this, Billie, but you said to me at one point when things were, dragging on, we thought it was going to be a year or two, and now we're 4.5 years later. And you said to me, when you read history, it's fast, and when you live it, it's slow. And that just resonated so deeply because, 20 years, 50 years from now, someone's going to read about how the PWHL started, and it's going to be like, oh, isn't that nice? The players stepped up and they asked for a league and they got it, and Billie helped out, but they'll never know, that struggle and the moments of where we thought maybe it would all fall apart, or could we keep these players together? They were being enticed by contracts elsewhere, money elsewhere. And, I'll always give credit to that group of players who stood together. They didn't stray. I hate to say sacrifice, but they did. The prime of their career gave up some of those opportunities because they believed and they trusted that we were going to build something better. So it was such a powerful thing to be a part of, but there were certainly moments where we didn't know if it would happen or not. And, so having Billie and Alana, and, Alana never gets enough credit, as you guys probably know.
Yeah.
I remember spending every single day, 5 days a week on a call with Alana every morning at 9:30 and a few others. And, this never would have happened without Billie and Alana, lots of other people, but it's incredible. And I know you guys talk about it all the time, but, Billie and Alana have done so much for so many different sports, and it's amazing. We wouldn't have happened without them.
Mm-hmm. And I remember during that 4 or 5 year gap, right? I remember Johnny Langle, as you mentioned, who was our lawyer with the national team for so many years. We called him our little tadpole angel from Power of One, this book, because he just did so many great things. And Billie and Alana telling me about the work that you, Jayna, and the players did. And I mean, so much so, like, doing market analysis of, what would be the best markets. And I think lost again in the conversation of this current iteration is what you did to roll up your sleeves and sitting with Deloitte and figuring out, okay, if we went to this market, what would it look like? If we went to this, that is what the players did. Tell those stories, because that's fascinating to me.
The association launched, and I think we were all hopeful that someone would just come in and make this league happen, and we waited and we hoped, and I think it was probably around COVID when everything went a bit crazy, but I think we realized somebody else wasn't going to do this, and we decided, through a mutual friend of mine, I got connected with someone at Deloitte here in Canada and said, I think maybe they can help you guys. So that started a conversation. They pulled some folks together and said, yeah, let's do this. Let's build a business plan. And what I think was the most powerful was that the women were investing in themselves. These women were not making any money. Anything we brought in from sponsorships or ticket sales, they weren't getting any money. It was going towards ice time. It was going towards this reinvesting in themselves and what this could be in the future. And we actually had to really dive into what were our aspirations? What would a league look like that we could be proud of? What would need to be true for this to happen? And again, another sort of powerful experience to have the players at the forefront of that and work towards that. And because we did that work, I thought that gave people confidence that we were for real. We weren't going to wait around for someone else to step in. Again, Billie and Alana, through their relationships, bringing Mark and Kimbra Walter to the table, we never could have predicted that. But at the end of the day, knowing that these players cared so much to reinvest in themselves and reinvest in the future and what could be true was something that was incredibly important to this league even launching.
Yeah. How did you get Mark and Kimbra Walter to the table, Kinger?
We just kept talking to him, and this would be a great investment. We have to figure out how it's going to be a great investment for people when you talk to them. It can't just be a charity. This is not a charity anymore. We used to have to do the charity stuff. No more. It's investment. That they have to be able to someday see their money back. And Mark is absolutely brilliant. Just telling him what we want and all that. He finally came up with the idea that he really should own everything. Because one thing we find with franchises is that one franchise will be great. Yeah. The players love them, and the others aren't run as well. And it's a real difference in each one. And because he only wanted to start, you did, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Soccer knows that very well, yes.
WNBA, everyone, NBA, the men's sports too, so it's not just women. And it is so difficult. People behind this, the people don't know what's going on. But the important thing was because Mark has such a supply of wonderful people, and he'd been through so much, and he has a brilliant mind. He's the one that came up with the one. He says, I should own everything. We should. He says we, actually, but I'm thinking, without him, nothing would have happened. And he got Stan Kasten, who runs the Dodgers, who's built different. He's done hockey teams. He's done baseball teams. He's done, I think, basketball. This guy is brilliant, and he knows how to put things together. So he went out and got 150 employees quickly within a month and a half. These things were happening. And so Mark said, let's do it. But there was another league. You remember? There was another league going on. And Mark said, we cannot have another league. We cannot have any competition. I don't want anyone to be confused with what the league is. Well, that's easy to say, right? So Mark bought the league, the other league, and then let it go. So now we're the only league. Now he's ready. And that's when we got started. And we had the 150. And then he wanted them to be employees and have a CBA. So that happened. That's giving up a lot, too, for the players because they don't make a lot of money. And it was, I think, a 7 or 8 year contract with them to have 7 or 8 years as a CBA. And so these players were raring to go, though. And like Jayna said, they talk about these future generations. They have teed it up. We have to. I just keep thinking we have to do something for this first generation because it's just amazing what they've done. So anyway, Mark said, let's go. I'll own everyone. Stan got all the employees. Stan runs a lot of it. It has taken an enormous amount of work. And then we got Tiffany to do the Walter Cup. And the Walter Cup weighs a little bit more than the Stanley Cup. We love that. We have more fun with that.
So the trophy the women raise is in honor of Mark and Kimber Walter, the Walter
Correct.
Cup. And it say that again, it weighs
Just
a little bit more.
I don't know. Is it an ounce or how much is it?
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
matter.
about a
I don't know.
pound.
0.01 ounce. It's more.
It's about
It
a
doesn't
pound
matter.
more.
A pound? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. And the other thing important, like there was nobody else that we wanted to name the cup after, but our league MVP is also the Billie Jean King award winner.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff MVP is the Alana Kloss award winner, and it was really important to us to, recognize and appreciate everything. It's not lost on us, that this never would have happened. And going back to the structure, I think, we couldn't have done what we've done without the single entity structure. And so, Mark knowing that needed to happen, we didn't think we could hold the players together much longer. They had, we had to launch January 1st, 2023. And so when we announced the league in August of 2024, in August of 2023, we had 5 months to launch a 6-team league. And there was people that said, why don't you just wait a year? We said, we can't. Can't happen. We've got to do this for the players. Yeah. And so the only way we could do it was a single entity structure where we can move quickly, make decisions quickly, ensure that the foundation of the league is strong across all 6 and now all 8 teams. So, brilliant how this league, decided that was the structure.
Abigail's.
Yeah.
Mary, you know very well that we spent a lot of time on the road while we were playing. A lot of time. And yes, it was a gift for sure, because we got to see all these amazing places and go to all these places I would have never gone to, which was so fun. But I learned quickly, like, where you stay makes a big difference. Huge difference, right? Yeah. So when I was playing with the national team and well beyond college, but our college friends would all get together still all the time, and they'd want to go to Tahoe all the time because Tahoe was, of course, who doesn't love Tahoe? It's the best. And they would pick all these different hotels, and I was like, I can't do that anymore. So we got this Airbnb instead of a hotel, and it's amazing because, one, you all gather. It's all cozy. Mm-hmm. It's a place where you can actually sit together and cook together and hang out together. And then you have these huge windows overlooking the mountains, and it just feels like home. It doesn't feel like you're on the road, which is the gift of Airbnb. And it's what I love most about booking homes through them, is that just there's more space, there's more comfort, there's more rooms for Abby so she can, quote,
there's more connection.
Sleep loudly.
There's more connection with your friends that you're there with. There's more connection.
Yeah, and more rooms for you so you can sleep loudly. Snore. And here's what I know. Here's what I also learned. While I was traveling nonstop, I could have been hosting my own home on Airbnb.
We should have been doing this all along.
Yeah, and now it's easier than ever thanks to the co-host network. You can literally hire a local co-host to help manage everything. Your listing, your reservations, your guest messages. And if you wanted, they'll even give you design and styling tips. I mean, they handle everything so that you don't have to. So I highly recommend it. Find a co-host at airbnb.com/host. Go do it.
Jules, okay, so this is wild. The holidays are basically already here, right?
Yeah.
How
did we get to that, by the way?
I know. It sneaks on me every single time. Feels like it's Halloween, and then bam, I'm trying to figure out what chairs I can grab to put around my dining room table so it can fit my entire family.
Right.
That is why I am very excited about this year, because I have readied my space with Wayfair. I found
at you.
I know. I found the perfect dining chairs. They're actually comfortable ones. They're not like the foldy ones that you have to bring in from the garage.
Terrible.
And
Don't
also
tell my
some
mom
new,
because she uses those.
also, guess what else I found? These really cozy flannel sheets because let's be honest, it's officially blanket season. And
Yeah.
even I grabbed some fun serverware for all of the holiday meals where we somehow end up hosting, it feels like every single night. When you have teenagers, they're like, can I have friends over? And you have to say yes, but you're just always hosting.
Yeah, my house is like the central one of all the kids, the siblings, and so it's like I'm like, come on, bring it in, let's go. I feel you.
If you find that you are hosting, Wayfair is the place to shop for everything home. Sofas, spatulas, and everything in between. And during their Black Friday sale, you can score up to 70% off. That is so many percents. I love that they have pieces that you don't see everywhere. And so my home actually feels like me.
Yeah.
The best part, though, fast and easy shipping.
Yes.
Give me
You don't have to wait 6 months for the couch to come. You don't.
Give me a fast and easy shipping process, and I will be your best friend and I will shop with you forever. And it's for the big stuff too. Everything showed up right on time, and it was just ready to go. And starting on October 30th, those Black Friday deals run all month long.
Nice.
So don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday deals for up to 70% off. That's WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. Okay, so Jules, you know when you just don't feel like yourself?
Yeah.
So for me,
It's not fun.
it's been this kind of stretch of like low energy in the afternoon when my brain feels foggy, but the day's only half over and I still have a lot more to do. I've got to get dinner sorted. I've got to finish my work stuff, get to the emails.
You gotta watch Love Island.
That's why I started using IM8's Daily Ultimate Essentials. IM8's formula, they combine the power of 16 different supplements into one little scoop. It was co-founded by David Beckham, we know that guy, and developed with experts from the Mayo Clinic, Cedars-Sinai, and even, I think, a former NASA chief scientist. Wow. So each serving packs 92 nutrient-rich ingredients, vitamins and minerals, adaptogens, CoQ10, MSM, and a full spectrum of pre, pro, and postbiotics. Basically everything, Jules, your body needs to function at its best. So I've been drinking it first thing in the morning, and it's got a light, I guess, a refreshing taste, really, and gives me a nice little boost before the day starts. So Jules, if you want to feel your best like every day, you just got to get yourself some of this IM8, okay? Go to im8health.com/WTTP and use code WTTP for a free welcome kit, 5 free travel sachets, plus 10% off your order. That's IM8, HEALTH.com/WTTP, code WTTP for a free welcome kit, 5 free travel sachets, plus 10% off your order. im8health.com/WTTP, code WTTP. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Is there a possible plan in the future for some of these current founding players to earn or also get in on some of the equity ownership in some of these teams longer term? Because I can't imagine he'll want to own all the teams for forever, but to stabilize for this first 7 years and then to branch off. To me, I'm like, gosh, give these founding players a little bit of equity in the teams that they end up helping build. Is that part of a future idea? Maybe I'm giving the idea.
It's one of the ideas absolutely one of the ideas for sure.
Because also I want to be a part of it. I want to know more on how to get involved and where can we find not just the games themselves, but can we watch them on TV or stream it somewhere? How can the party people the folks who are listening to this, how can they get involved to help support the PWHL?
Yeah, it's we're on broadcast. So in Canada here, we've got multiple broadcasters with CBC, TSN, Sportsnet. In the United States, we have a lot of regional networks. We have NESN, we have MSG, we have our games on YouTube. One of the things, we knew we had to make ourselves accessible. And in year one, every single game was available for free in YouTube. We had over 100 countries tune into our games, so people around the world. And that was really important because for too many years, it was too hard to find. And so we know that that's really critical to our success. And so we're kind of trying to constantly find new ways to make sure people can find us easily. Obviously, directing people to the website, everything is there, easy to find. But yeah, love to get you guys out to a game.
For sure. And there's also, which I think is so really, it's fascinating and something that I think the NWSL probably should have done early days, but they didn't. And it's like the neutral site games that you all do in different cities that aren't the team home cities. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, I think it's one of the smartest things we've done, and we launched it in our second season called the Takeover Tour. So we have 6 teams in the first 2 years. So we had Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. We had New York, Boston, Minnesota. We've since expanded to Seattle and Vancouver. But in season 2, we played 9 neutral site games. We had over 123,000 people attend those games. And what was really interesting in my mind was that we found in those takeover games, some venues up to 80% of people who came to our game, and we were selling out many of these games, so 18, 19,000 people, up to 80% had never been in that building before.
No way.
So what that means is that we are not just bringing in the NHL fans that already go and watch hockey. We're bringing in new fans to the game, new fans to women's sport. And that's what's, really important about this tour. So going into season 3, now we have Seattle and Vancouver, who happen to be takeover tour markets. They were our first 2 in season 2.
That crushed it, right? With the takeover
They
tour.
crushed it.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for us to learn the market, to understand what the fan engagement is there, to get to know partners, infrastructure, facilities. All of that is really important as we consider expansion. So this year, now we have 16 takeover tour games. So significant increase across North America. And we've been pretty public that, this is intentional, this expansion, it's aggressive, and we're looking to continue to grow in this phase. And so really excited to get to some new markets this year and let people see and feel the PWHL many times for the first time. And we know they're going to love what they get to be a part of.
Yeah. When you think about you're going into this 3rd season, you slogged it for so many years to have this league happen. When you think about the lessons learned in those first 2 years, what are some of the top things that come to mind?
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's in some ways it seemed like it's so long. In other ways I can't believe, we're not even 2 calendar years old from when Billie and I dropped the puck that first game. It's amazing. One of the first things I think that we built our culture around and tribute Stan Kasten to this, he said, think differently. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. We're going to make lots of mistakes because we are going so fast. We're doing something that hasn't been done. So, don't be afraid to make mistakes, but make sure they're mistakes you can fix. And so, that's kind of been a part of our culture as we continue to grow. And we brought in some innovative rules to try to make the game more engaging for fans. We certainly didn't want to change hockey and what hockey is to people, but we wanted to think differently. We wanted to make it more fun. And so we have a rule called the jailbreak rule, where if a team scores a goal shorthanded, meaning they have a penalty, they only have 4 players on the ice, they actually get their player back on the ice. So you think about the momentum that happens in a building when you score shorthanded, and then you also get your player back. Yeah. We have something called the no escape rule. Well, the next one was the no escape rule. So there's a real jail theme to this. But, when you take a penalty, you have to keep the same players who were on the ice when it happened until play resumes. So you may have 3 forwards and 1 defenseman instead of 2 forwards and 2 defensemen. You may not have your best penalty killers. So it actually gives an advantage to the power play team. Every sport wants to increase scoring. So that's been significant, and the data showed that it's worked to do that. We have a pick your own opponent rule in the playoffs. So the first place team gets to pick who they play in the first round.
Whoa.
That's rad.
That's
I
cool.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
we did that.
Yeah, really fun. So we had 4 teams make the playoffs, and the first place team could pick either the third or the fourth place team. They couldn't pick the second place because they had earned home ice, but they
Yeah.
could pick 3 or 4. And so that makes it really fun.
Wait, what'd they pick?
4. They picked 4 both times.
Okay.
But ironically, Minnesota has finished 4th both years and won.
I know.
So the team that has had to pick their own opponent has
Pick
lost.
third. You got to pick
right
third
away.
now. You got to pick the
Yeah.
third.
No kidding.
So that's been fun. And the other one that's been really great is something called the Gold Plan. And so we all know that when teams don't make the playoffs, how do you keep their fans engaged? How do you keep them excited? Because the games become, what some would consider meaningless. So our Gold Plan is the second you are eliminated from playoffs, every point after that goes towards earning the first pick overall. So you don't lose your way to the first pick. You have to earn your way by winning after you're eliminated. So things like that make it more fun for fans, don't change the game itself, but just increase engagement. And so we've been given the luxury to be able to do this and think like this. And, I think that's been really fun for me and everyone on my team that get to think about all these crazy hockey ideas.
Where did these ideas come from?
Conversations, relationships. We look at data. The jailbreak was someone that I talked to who was in the media who was like, I'd always wish the NHL would do this. And I said, I like it. Why don't we try it? Because worst case is we change the rule the next year, right? It's not, we can do whatever we want in this league. We make our own rules. So that was one. The no escape rule was because we noticed our power play percentage was a little low comparatively to other leagues, and we wanted to give the power play a bit of an advantage. So that was driven by data, and it worked. Our power plays went from 16% to 19% the next year. So, it's really another member of my team brought the Gold Plan as an idea. Somebody had done this as a thesis paper for men's sport, and no men's league would try it. And so we said, why not? Let's give it a shot. So it goes back to, Stan saying, think differently about this and don't be afraid to make a mistake.
And that's the thing, that it takes leagues sometimes decades to change rules, right? And I love that you're like, no, we're going to try this. And why not? Like, let's make it more, like it's going to be a more fun atmosphere. It's going to be higher scoring, all these things that we want to see. I wish there were more leagues, honestly, that did that. And like, okay, let's not wait for decades before we actually make some real changes.
So important, get the right people on the bus, okay? We have it's the right people, are the business people, the operations people, everyone's included. And any idea is a good idea. Just throw it out there, because then, like Jayna said, you change it. But Jayna is a huge part of the success. Who else? I mean, you're really on the execution part, but the business side, we've got Stan and who else do we have?
Well, Royce Cohen has been amazing. Who's also with the Dodgers, and somebody who just challenges us all the time in the way he thinks about things. I get to work with Amy Shear, who leads the business operations for the league. I have a few people on my team that were with me and with Billie in the PWHPA. So women that were doing it back then, in addition to their full-time job, because they just cared so much. And they both are, Alexis Miller and Chelsea Purcell, who are just rock stars with the league. And so we've been able to build a culture of really great people. And, it's that makes all the difference in the world.
Yep, exactly.
We just appreciate all your work. I know that a lot of times it goes thankless, but it matters, and in no time, it feels like that first CBA is going to be up for renegotiation, and hopefully the league is even more successful. That there's even more expansion teams, in large part due to you, Jayna. So thank you for coming on and helping us.
Appreciate it anytime.
Jayna, we do a party pose to end interviews. Party pose on 3. 1, 2, 3. We do at the end of every show. We do a USA cheer that we want you to do.
I know what you do. Yeah.
You're going to be part of it.
What do the hockey? Wait a minute. What do the hockey players do? The ice hockey.
Yeah. What is your Canadian?
What do you guys do?
What is your Canadian cheer?
What do you Canadians do?
I don't know if we have a Canadian cheer. No, not like that.
No? Oh, good. I love that you have to do the
Yeah, but who
USA
started
cheer.
your cheer? Julie, it's a good story how you guys got started.
Yeah, we got started with in Italy. They when we were playing the 85ers, the 81st team, when they were playing over in Italy, the Italians, as you know, in Europe, instead of saying USA, they say USA. So they were chanting for USA, USA, and the American players thought that was so amazing that became and still is today our U.S. women's soccer national team cheer as we go out on the field. USA, USA, USA.
That's amazing
from the
that
soul.
it still lives on. What a
I
tradition.
know, still today. So it's really cool. So
Yeah.
we take great pleasure in bringing a Canadian into the circle and having to
Yes.
do the USA cheer at the end.
I'm going to hear about this from someone.
Yeah, you will. You will. Okay, party people, don't forget to subscribe to the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel. Click that little bell icon so you get updates when episodes go live.
And if you can just take a second, we would appreciate it if you could leave a comment, rate, and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Welcome to the Party Show, where Julie, Billie, and I will bring the party straight to your feed. Shout out to Kate Diaz for our theme music. Here we go. We got to do this cheer. Can you actually call us in, Jayna? So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, USA, USA, USA.
Okay.
From the soul.
Got it.
Put your paw
you
in,
ready?
Jayna. Yeah.
All right.
Pause.
All right.
Pause in.
1, 2, 3.
USA, 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 USA.
Yo!
I love that so much.
Welcome to the Party is an independent production brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. Silver Tribe is our production partner, and you can also watch our full conversations on the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel and follow us at Welcome to the Party Show on Instagram and TikTok.